I'm Dr. Robert Peppercorn, and this is the Medical Explorer. As a specialist in dermatology, I'll take you on an exploration of our Northern California counties and bring you behind the scenes of medical care practices right here in our local areas. Well, it's hard to believe that's how I began this program for 23 years, more than 30 years ago, between 1983 and 2005, when the Medical Explorer with Dr. Robert Peppercorn ran on local cable TV in about 5 different counties in Northern California. It began when I finished training at the big centers at Harvard and Johns Hopkins and Stanford, and then made a major change in my life to come to this rural Northern California community, having never lived in a small town before. I'd always had the interest in television and radio and public education and news and politics, but of course medicine was my #1 area of interest. But when I came out and saw that there was a local production, a local TV channel, Fred Kirchable from, at that time, NorCal Cable said, "Bob, why don't you put together an idea for a local medical education TV show, and we'll put it together and see how it goes." So I went home and had never done this before, came up with an idea for a show exploring doctors, exploring facilities, and said, let's call it the Medical Explorer. And said, well, let's come up with a theme song. And all I could think of was all the TV I'd watched in my whole life, and said, well, I like Chuck Mangione songs, so I picked one song from an old cassette that I had, and that became the song that lasted for the 23 years of the run of the show. And much of it was filmed right here in this office, which is actually my dermatology office in Yuba City. We're north of Sacramento, about an hour drive. So we really had a great time exploring things from every area of medicine, areas not specifically medicine, from traditional care to chiropractic care, dentistry, oral surgery, veterinary medicine, psychiatry. We even went to Beale Air Force Base and watched the flight surgeons work with the SR-71 and U-2 pilots. And so what started as a little show in the studio branched out to multiple counties, multiple areas, multiple specialties. We looked at everything from regular medical care inside the hospitals. We watched the hospitals grow. We watched new doctors come in the community. We watched doctors leave the community. We went to veterinary offices, watched surgery on animals. Some of the most popular shows, though, featured babies being born in a local birthing center or a baby born by C-section in the local hospital. We touched on controversial topics such as medical advertising, got involved in many, many things: chiropractic care, psychology, psychiatry. So it really is amazing to me to look back over all these years, because it's been over 30 years since we put this all together and began it. I enjoyed showing off some of my work with new laser technology that I was pioneering here, such as wrinkle removal with the CO2 laser. And it was really fun talking with people in the community for all these years. Thinking back, that's 33 years ago when we started the show, and it ran 23 years into 2005. So we found these old VHS tapes of the show recently and decided to upload them to YouTube. And here you are joining me here, and I thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel, The Medical Explorer with Dr. Robert Peppercorn. So if you click on the section on the channel that says videos, you're going to be able to see more than 200 of these television programs that ran for 23 years between 1983 and 2005. And hopefully you'll come back and subscribe, and I'll put some new things on here as time goes by. So thanks for checking us out.